Right, so having completed Ultima Underworld 2, still trapped in Britannia, unable to return to Earth because of destroying the Black Gate. We are now picking up Ultima 7 Part 2, Serpent Isle. Now, if you remember, in Ultima 7, the Black Gate, when we went to Yolo's hut, we found a note left by Gweno that said she had found people willing to go with her on an expedition to the Serpent Isle, which was one of the original 4 lands from Ultima 1. And it said on the note that Lord British had details of how to get to the Serpent Isle, which would only be given when their current quest was finished. So that's obviously in relation to Ultima 7. But then there was the issue, of course, with the getting trapped in the Blackrock gem in Ultima Underworld 2. So where we stand now is that we're picking up pretty much directly from after Ultima Underworld 2. So for this one, we're going to be using Exalt, which is, I suppose in a way, an emulator for Ultima 7. It uses the code, the use code, but it actually runs the game itself. It's not just like running DOSBox. I've configured all that. It's using the Roland sound, hopefully, and the voices should work. And I've also added a mod to it, which is called Serpent Isle Fixes, which addresses a lot of the issues in the original game. So hopefully stuff will work. We won't run into any bugs. Just so you can see it. That is Exalt. Lets you set video options, scaling, how you want it to appear, having to use OpenGL to get it in OBS properly. So speech and everything's set up. So what it does add is it adds the ability to have status bars for your characters. That is very loud. Set all this. Better. Yeah, so it addresses issues that people sort of came across in the just reset my settings in the original. So you can have some status bars so you can see your health and mana for each of your characters. Some people thought that the font was difficult to read, so you can put a background on it. I believe there's also a mod to change the font, but I'm not going to bother with that. You can use the middle mouse button, which I believe if you middle mouse button over somebody, it will default to talk. If you do it on food, it'll default to, trying to eat. So gump to pause the game, like it was in Ultima 7. Cheats, turn those off. 10 frames per second. Smooth scrolling will turn off because it doesn't look that great. Ooh. And various other things. Alternate drag and drop, I don't know what that is. There's also a shortcut bar, like a toolbar across the top, which we'll be trying out. Normal difficulty. You can have it display hit points for the characters. It's a bit annoying, so I've turned that off. Original mode and charm difficulty is for charmed characters. So, I only got this working after we'd played Ultima VII, but you can launch that from there. And as you can see here, we've got the show mods, and it shows that I'm using Serpent Isle fixes. Right. So I will shall narrate. Lord British's castle. 18 months after the destruction of the Black Gate and the dismantling of the Fellowship.
My liege, all we found among Batlin's belongings was this enchanted scroll, and a map showing the way to a place called the Serpent Isle.
Indeed. Put it on the table. Stand back!
Batlin! In the unlikely event that the Avatar stops me from coming through the Black Gate, I command you to follow the unwitting female human Gweno to the Serpent Isle. There I shall outline my plan to destroy Britannia.
'Tis my worst fear. I must send the Avatar through the pillars to the Serpent Isle.
Well, I don't know what all the flickering was about. Possibly something to do with the renderer. I don't know. So we have been sent through the Serpent Pillars, which, if anybody played Ultima Online, you may have seen the Serpent Pillars. They were in the game files, and you could travel through those. Okay, so normally it just says Serpent Isle and the Silver Seed. The Silver Seed is another add-on, as the Forge of Virtue was an add-on for Ultima VII the Black Gate. Serpent Isle has the Silver Seed, which you may remember the Silver Seed from Ultima Underworld I, that allowed you to be resurrected at wherever you planted the seed. So, let us begin. So, name, Slegnor. Portrait. So preset number of portraits, kind of in the theme of the Ultima Underworld ones, really, but we shall go with the stereotypical blonde-haired, blue-eyed avatar. Right. Journey onward. What happened? Is everyone alright? Avatar! It was a fearsome passage, Slegnor. After we sailed between the Serpent Pillars, I could have sworn that we were flying. Yeah, here we are on the ship. I wonder if I lost anything. Maybe on the ship, but the ship is upon dry land. I think that's correct, Yolo. We did fly. Oof. Do you notice the chill in the air? It is much colder here than at home. Hope Gweno brought enough warm clothing. Don't worry so, old friend. We shall find our wife soon enough. And that fiend Batlin, I hope. Looks like no. A strange storm is nearly upon us. This is certainly not Britannia. Where are we? Let us find Batlin. Do not forget about Gweno. Right, so this is the toolbar that I mentioned about. These are the hotkeys. As you can see, I've forgotten how to play. It looks exactly the same as Ultima VII, because it uses the same engine. However, they made a number of improvements, notably being the paper dolls. Check that bad boy out. Gone are the lines where you put the items against your character. Now you can actually wear the stuff. How awesome is that? Not only that, check out all my gear. So full magic plate armor. Still got the black sword. Magic shield. I've got a glass sword. A spell book. That's clearly not my spell book from the last game because mine was full. As beautiful as the day I first laid eyes on it. Yes, it is. And I decided to keep it the same resolution as well because Exalt lets you expand the resolution, make it, you know, more on screen, but it can fuck up event triggers. Things can happen on screen, off screen, that you then walk into, and obviously if you increase the resolution, it gives you a bigger picture. It can trigger things early, and it screws up the game. So we ignored that. Yeah, so what have we got? Right, now, I need to explain this. So this, here we go. Dear Slegnor, all the portents indicate that this quest to find Batlin should severely tax thine abilities. Consequently, I have ordered the armories of the kingdom opened in order to equip thee and thy good companions. For a fucking change, this is like the 9th time, if you include the underworlds, that I've fucking saved your asses, and it's the first time you've actually given me any gear. You should be given these things: a glass sword which can slay any foe which is destroyed in the act of such slaughter, the mage bane, a fabled weapon which should recover in thy previous encounter with Batlin. It steals the magic from sorcerers who oppose thee. I had about 3 of them. A demon sword, black sword, come on, which you obtain in the Forge of Virtue. It's truly a terrible weapon, but thou will surely need it. Beware the demon within. Rudium's wand, which doth make Blackrock to explode. Strange serpent of Blackrock, which thou didst obtain from Netherworlds during thy most recent adventure. That's what I was about to explain. Come back to that. Its powers are unknown, but those who gave it to thee promised that it would be useful to thee soon. A spell book, which has been added. Every spell that could be speedily obtained. Why I couldn't just use mine? It was full. For thee to wear a set of armour for the best enchantments, helm and gauntlets. For Yolo the Bard, a crossbow which he wields so well. For Noble to pray, magic shield which I have prepared for him. Shaman the Ranger, magic bow, a goodly supply of burst arrows, which you shall no doubt use to good purpose, as well as its common items as torches, a pair of swamp boots, a good dagger, and much food for extended journey. Travel safely, and may the villain Batlin soon fall into thine hands. Also, I hope thou dost find soon Ilos, I'm off again. Yolo's lost wife, the good woman Gweno. Lord British, thy lead. You gave me 1 pair of boots. Right, so very quickly. Jesus, half of you are undressed. So, yeah. Unfortunately, we couldn't find any clothes shops, so everyone's half undressed. Boots, normal boots, 1 pair of swamp boots between the lot of us. Okay, so it mentioned in the scroll the Blackrock serpent, which I obtained in my latest otherworldly adventure. So it's referring to Ultima Underworld II. And if you cast your mind back, and I will bring up some footage on the edit, there were 3 goblins in the sewers under Lord British's castle on level 4. There was the Dripper, Rugwump I think it was, could be wrong there, and then an unnamed goblin. The unnamed goblin was the one that gave us a fish in return for slaying the rotworms and like around the lake, which we did early on. And in my playthrough I didn't actually go back and get the reward until about 7/8 of the way through the game, and he gave me a fish. Now apparently, and I have never got this to work, I've even went back yesterday and tried various things to try and get it to work with no avail, but if I do manage to get it to work, I'll put the video in here. Essentially, you towards the end of the game, if you go back and talk to the goblin that gave you the fish, he essentially presents you with the Blackrock Serpent, which is how this arrives here, but it's a really convoluted set of circumstances. And I think, from doing some research, you actually have to threaten him, then talk to him again, then be nice to him, and he offers to train you in tracking, which I didn't bother with. And I think the key is that you have to use him as a trainer once. So I'm going to go back, try that. So if that's the case, I'll put in the footage, like I said, of the mention of the serpent, because that is how you come into possession of it. So it's a Blackrock Order serpent. So otherwise, that's just in your bag with a note saying, "Oh, you got this on your last adventure," and you're like, "No, I fucking didn't." So, but I have played Underworld 2 many times, and I have never had the serpent given to me, as far as I can remember. It was completely unknown to me until the other day. So hopefully we'll find it. Right, so you just heard me waffling on about the Blackrock Serpent and everything, and how I wasn't able to get him to trigger the event that gives you the Blackrock Serpent. I went back again, and I've managed to figure out how you do it, and it's so simple, it's ridiculous. So, as you recall, I mentioned the goblins is on level 3 around the lake with Rogwump. I did get it right, Rogwump, and the Dripper, wherever it is, and the unnamed goblin. So you talk to the goblin. We've done this already. He sends you on the quest to get rid of the worms after essentially mentioning them and what a pain in the ass they are. So, as far as I can work out, the circumstances in which that triggers that he will do the conversation regarding Blackrock is the following. Right. You have to demand his presence, to which he says, "These tunnels belong to Lord British. Why have we never seen him here? We live on the surface, blah, blah, blah. We come here every now and then, and we've been trapped by the Blackrock stone on the castle." Okay. So, you shouldn't be here. You are trespassers. We've been coming here for decades. No one ever told us to leave. So that you're the one trespassing. What you do now is you apologise. Okay. And then you talk to him again. You may not have to do this if you've already done it, but this is what we do. So, who are you? What are you doing down here? It leads you kind of to the same place. Are you familiar with these sewers? There's a large cavern, great pool. Do you know more? That's not it. Find civilized humans. No. It works. Who are you? Moglon. Are there many of you here? Trapped by the black stone. You shouldn't be here. You're trespassers. What do you live on? Living underground. There, right. So he then gives you the option, which I'm sure, when the first time we talked to him, we got this. Can you train me in tracking? And I said, can't be bothered with tracking, don't need it. Can you train me in tracking? I don't have any skill points. Okay, so I fail at training. So, do you want to learn any more? No, thank you very much. Now, I would like to point out where we are at the moment in the game is I've given the spell book from Morgotha to Nystel, and if I then go back to the castle, the invasion will happen, Morgotha will turn up again, and then kill her and blow the horn. So it's literally the last 5 minutes of the game. You have to be somewhere at the end game Morgotha has to have happened, I think, for this to even work. So, now we talk to him. Hello again. Wormslayer, I must thank thee for thy help thou hast given us. Were it not for thee, the monsters of this sewer would doubtless have overwhelmed us by now. He said something similar to this and rewarded us with a fish. If we'd have come back earlier on, we'd have got fish. But because we come back now, and I've done the asking for tracking, it triggers this. It's bizarre. If you don't ask for the tracking training, you never get this. Why that's the trigger, no idea. So, I am glad to have helped thee. Rogwum, the Dripper, and I have agreed that we should give over to thee one of the secrets of our tribe. Over a century ago, a human appeared near our home in the rocky serpent's spine. Half starved he was, and there were wounds on him which seemed to have been made by arrows. Who was this man? Before he died, he gasped out a single word to those who found him: pagan. We now know what this might mean or where he came from. Our trackers traced his spoor to the foot of the sheer wall of stone. He carried this with him, though. Take it. It seems to belong more to thy destiny than that of a warrior who walks among the dimensions than to ours. Perhaps someday it shall serve a purpose for thee. And as you can see down here, it's a statue of a serpent. As you can see, it's silver, or white, grey, whatever you want to call it. It's definitely not black. It curves to the right, which I believe the other one curves left, but I could be wrong. And it's on a plinth. But you get given it by them. And if you actually have a look, a perfect serpent statue. So, that is how to get the serpent that appears in Serpent Isle. So, back over to me on the other game. Right, so, the rest of yous. We've done all that. Okay. So, the Z stat things is still the same. Oh, except it can open infinitely. Interesting. Right, on the top. So, yes, we shall save. This is quite cool as well. Gives you a rundown of your party and actual real world information as well. And as you can see, there's a lot more save slots by the look of it. Okay. So on the hotbar, combat, map, which we don't have, spellbook, inventory, keys, don't have any yet, the journal, so you can actually arrived on holiday, not as brochure described. Procure. Go. No idea what that is. And that's a very important one. Auto eat. It will just feed people based on what you've got in your bag. Great. So, here we are. We've been travelling in the boat through the pillars and we've ended up on the sea. Another thing, the clouds are rendered slightly different in this, so they can actually overlap quite a lot and you end up with like this fog effect and it gets really dark and brown. I prefer the old style, but anyway. Ooh. Whoa. Ooh, is he dead? Fuck him. Yow. What happened? Where are my friends? YOLO? Shamino? Dupree? Nice hap. Thou hast arrived. Who said that? Even as was foretold, I've travelled a great distance to meet with thee. My name is Thoxa. But wait, I proceed too quickly. Perhaps thou art not the promised hero. Must test thee lest I give mine assistance in error. Shit, copy protection. Need the questions. I can't be bothered to get up and get the book from behind me. So, perhaps thou art not the promised hero. I must test thee, lest I give mine assistance in error. How many cities were established in the Serpent Isle? Is it 3? It is 3. Whoa, what happened then? I was moving the slider and it just bloody went. Well, this actually gives me the opportunity to do something here that I remember. There it goes again. So right click to close Gumps. Right, I am not yet convinced. Blah de blah, blah de blah, blah de blah. Oink. If you fail the copy protection, this is brilliant. If you eat food, you say oink. If you talk to people, thou saved my gumpy gypsy from quagmire, smarty pants. How can I ever repay thee? Neither a borrower nor a moon cow be. Oh, my gutter snipe, I don't think we're in Britannia anymore. Never outstretch a gift, Norman, in the mulch. All of my suicidal soups are campaigning for in a roundabout manner. Let me remind thee that the Albigensians of may be more grumpy than they appear. Ode to a pedantic thundermoose. Rage against the deflowering of the thundermoose. Screenshot. Ich bin ein Weiter. Oh my goofball, I don't think we're in Britannia anymore. Destroy thy hedonistic and a beast life before it's too late, pox. Yes, so essentially everyone starts talking bullshit and gibberish. Never protest a gith sloth in the axle. Where's mine advisor? I need an acidic personal crisis immediately. May I borrow thy hoe? Mine seems to be grumpy in a roundabout manner. So it's just made up of generic preset words. So I'm going to turn off right click closes Gumps. And then what I'm actually going to do is turn off right click closes Gumps and click OK. Oh, yeah, that's done. Right. Let's try that again, shall we? Pew, pew, pew.